is because they cannot afford imported luxury buses, but their handmade ones are more cost-effective. In order to drive a proper bus, the owner of a Pakistani car bought a bus chassis and asked their car factory to build it. Although the current chassis can be driven, if a car body needs to be built on the chassis, the masters must first cut these square tubes. Square tubes are the main raw materials for their car body frames. Because the appearance of the bus has a range, square tubes of equal length must be bent by hand to the same range to meet the production requirements of the roof. In order to facilitate the subsequent modular installation, the master must first combine a large number of square tubes and weld and extend the square tubes through welding rods. The cut square tubes can become a hole. After the master cuts and welds a large number of square tubes, the body frame is built very quickly. Of course, this method is very time-consuming in the early stage. As long as the square tubes have been welded into the body frame, the chassis docking only needs to check the fixed position. Then the connected square tubes are welded and reinforced in this way. The frame of the bus on both sides is fixed. The square tube bent by the valve head in the early stage needs to be fixed on the load-bearing square tube of the frame on both sides. In this way, the master can use small square tubes for interval welding to ensure that the roof also has a certain load-bearing capacity. After the iron sheet is bent to the necessary extent, the plate needs to be firmly reinforced with the square tube. Even if they do not have a whole piece of iron sheet of such width, the master's welding can also make the iron sheet fit tightly. The support point of the iron sheet on the side of the body is too small to avoid abnormal noise after the body is fixed. A layer of sealant should be applied on each surface. It can only serve as a support for the body iron sheet. The viscosity can also completely fix the iron sheet. After confirming that it is correct, the iron sheet will be connected with the frame. Use welding rods to fill the seams with welding to achieve the purpose of fixing the block of iron sheet into a hole. This can be used as the dividing line between the window and the iron parts. Then the master will use this horizontal line as a reference check the iron sheets that have been made in advance. Since the truck chassis is not used for this construction and the engine is rear-mounted, the iron sheet of the engine compartment must be cut out to have a heat dissipation port and covered with wire mesh, which can not only achieve the effective engine heat dissipation, but also prevent foreign objects from entering the engine compartment. Since the front and rear of the bus have a large amount of styling, they use fiberglass to make it, which can not only reduce the difficulty of welding with iron sheets, the whole effect can also be improved after the masters have fixed all the iron sheets, because their iron sheets are not completely flat. In order to improve the texture of subsequent paint spraying, the entire body needs to be scraped with a layer of atomic putty. The purpose of this operation is to level the surface of the bus to avoid the appearance of pits on the surface. After the master's brush painting, the transparent surface needs to be carefully polished. The main purpose is to remove the small scratches left by the scraper. In order to save the construction time of the entire bus, the decoration is also made by the master at the same time. This kind of long-distance passenger bus cannot open the window. Considering that the noise during driving will also affect the comfort, the inside of the parts need to be filled with sound insulation cotton. In order to cover the yellow wood board on the roof, we will use this leather with glue to paste it on all visible parts. This saves the need to fix it with screws and buckles. Full fit can make it more beautiful. Since the seats of this bus are independent, we have a sense of home. The entire floor is also pasted with a layer of plastic base pad, which is not only waterproof and moisture-proof, but also improves wear resistance. Since each cabin has a corresponding TV, the panel must be fixed in front first. This bus must have air conditioning, but their air conditioning panel is not just decoration. It not only has LED headlights, but also has dynamic speakers with deep bass. This is just the standard configuration of this bus. After the masters have adjusted the unstable installation, now you can install sofa recliners for each cabin. Using the upper and lower layer design, when the height is not enough, you can only use the semi-reclining seat. When the soft furnishings of the interior are gradually completed, in order to install soundproof glass on the upper windows, a thick layer of glass glue is also needed on the car. Because the glass cannot be fixed with any screws, the amount of glass glue must be sufficient to make the glass more firmly attached. After the coordination and cooperation of the two masters, some car window glasses were fixed very quickly, although the masters have secretly. The dividing line of the iron piece is more obvious. The master needs to spray all the remaining parts with black paint. Although the newspaper wrapping takes a lot of time, it can make the lines of the car body more three-dimensional. After the master sprayed for half an hour, the details of the appearance of the bus have been solved. The red color scheme highlights the unusualness of this bus. This huge windshield can make the owner's field of vision wider. The black glass of the car not only adds mystery, but also can give passengers a certain privacy in broad daylight. After half a month of hard work in the car workshop, the internal atmosphere lights have finally been powered on. The unique cockpit is not only large in space, but the car TV has also been upgraded to the latest system. The dynamic lights are in line with the owner's car CD. You will definitely not be alone on such a journey. Then this handmade bus has been completed. What do you think of such a bus?